Hello. I posted this elsewhere earlier, but I'm trying to reach a larger group of people because I'm really screwed right now and I need some suggestions, advice, or directions. Anything, hopefully someone that can tell me what to do might see this because the devastation I feel is debilitating to the point of paralysis. I'm so upset my hands are shaking right now and my mind is racing, so please try to stay with me. I've never posted on Reddit before, but I read these a lot and people are always accusing posters of lying. So I tried to include a pics of the list I'll be talking about in the hopes that we can skip that part in the comments, but this community wouldn't allow an attachment. A little backstory. My daughter, 12, and I, 32-year-old female, were finally able to leave her father about a year ago. I'd been actively trying to since the day I found out I was pregnant. He started as my college boyfriend and became increasingly controlling and extremely violent with me, and it took over a decade to get out. The only reason I was able to leave without him interfering this time is because the law is involved and he is facing serious jail, time, or a suspended sentence if he contacts me within the next 10 years. I moved back to my hometown to be closer to my family. He had moved us to his hometown after college, probably to isolate me, but I haven't had the greatest relationship with them either. My mom passed away when I was 2 and my dad remarried a year later. My stepmom had a 10-year-old son at the time, and from my ages 10, he abused me in every way. When I finally told my dad and stepmom about it, their reaction was disappointing to say the least. They really didn't do anything about it because he was leaving the house for college, so I guess they thought that was a fine resolution. So when I left for college, I pretty much never looked back. When they found out I was pregnant, they tried to reach out to make amends so that their granddaughter could be in their lives, but I resisted really until we moved back to our hometown last year. I have no contact with my stepbrother, but my dad and stepmom have really been making an effort where my daughter is concerned, and the more people that she has that love her, the better, I guess, since she's completely lost her dad's side. Anyway, last weekend was one of my cousin's birthday and the family was all at my aunt's house for the get-together. I was talking to one of my cousins about what we each had coming up this week. I told her that I was trying to figure out when I'd be able to get all the supplies my daughter needs for her Girl Scouts camping trip this weekend. I have my master's, but I hadn't worked in about 9 years for reasons that I now understand were just about control and financial abuse. So the jobs I have now are not great. I work 2 jobs and my only shift is this morning, but I didn't want to wait to the last minute to get everything. What if I couldn't find everything in just a few hours? And also my daughter has anxiety and hates leaving things to the last minute. It kills me that she thinks I'm always putting off getting what she needs, but I'm not procrastinating. I just don't have the money in advance and have to wait till I make it to be able to buy things. We found out about the camping trip about 3 weeks ago, and the timing freaking sucks because obviously Christmas is also coming up, and all the things on the list I figured out will cost me about $250. No worries though, there's literally not a thing that I wouldn't do for my daughter, and I'd already signed up for off-work mass, so I just added some more hours to be able to get the supplies as well. My stepmom heard me saying how I didn't know when I could fit this shopping trip in my schedule, so she came over and volunteered to help me out with it. I hesitated because she's not my fave person in the world, and my cousin was even kind of laughing because she knows I don't like her, but I eventually agreed. My daughter needs these things, and I didn't want to jeopardize her getting what she needs just because of my feelings. My stepmom was like, I'm retired. I have all the time in the world this week. Give me the list and I'll get it done, blah, blah. Also, I knew that this was going to require me spending a lot of time walking around Walmart. I have lupus, extreme joint pain from my toes to my neck. And my ex broke my tailbone and my back in 2 places, so it's really difficult and painful for me to walk around that hard floor for long periods of time. So the next day, Sunday, I went over to their house and gave her the $250 plus $30 for a beginner crochet kit that my daughter really wants for Christmas. We talked about the list. I told her the sizes I need for the sweater sets that I picked out. Just gave her the details that she needs. So I didn't hear anything from her that day, but I worked both jobs and I was busy. Plus, I wasn't expecting her to go out and get everything that day, so it was whatever. Monday, she let me know that she'd come down with a cold and probably wasn't going to get to it till Tuesday. I've been texting her all week and she's been saying that she's still not feeling well, but she will get to it as soon as she can. So today is when I would have been able to do it myself. There's a teacher's work day on Monday, so they're going set. I wanted to go by last night to just pick up the money so I could take care of it myself today. I call and text a bunch of times and no answer. Finally, I call my dad and ask him if he can grab the money from her so I can come pick it up. He didn't know what I was talking about, so I briefly explained. He said he will call me back. He didn't call me or answer my calls last night and just came over to my house this morning. He just dropped on me that my stepmom has been addicted to painkillers and gambling for the past 10 years. He said he didn't know anything about me giving her any money or he wouldn't have let me do it, but that the money is definitely gone. He said that no one in the family knows and asked me to please not say anything. He told me about the problems this has been causing their marriage and a lot of things they've been going through. I'm sympathetic to drug use addiction. I was a bartender for years and really lived that life, if you know, you know. But since the day I found out I was pregnant, I haven't even had a drink. I've been completely sober. It's easy when you have no friends and only work. My life is essentially my daughter's. Like I said, I do empathize with the situation, but what am I supposed to do now? They're supposed to leave tonight for camping, and now I can't get any of the supplies. I've just been sitting here stunned and crying since he left. She's been looking so forward to this trip. It's not been the easiest for her to switch schools in a different state and make new friends, but she's been really enjoying Girl Scouts. I put her in it because I was in it when I was young and was also able to find friendship there. I don't have anything she could use around here. We were not a camping family. The last time I went camping was when I went with the G's. She's like me, grew like a weed till middle school and will be this size prob for the rest of her life. But the point is, none of her colder weather clothes from last year fit at all. I was literally starting from scratch on this list, and now I'm about to have to tell her that she can't go. And why can't she go? I've been working so much extra and she knows why, so I tell her I essentially just gave the money away like with. I literally feel like I'm gonna puke. I want to call my dad and tell him that I'm sorry about what they're going through, but I need that money back and he needs to get it for me as soon as possible. Would that be too selfish? I know he doesn't have it anyway. He assured me that he'd give it to me if he did while he was here. This just sucks, and I really want to confront my stepmom about this. I don't want to act like I don't know and just let it go. She just really hurt my daughter, and I don't take that lightly. So am I the idiot if I confront her since my dad asked me not to? Update. I called every family member and just let them know I'm having an emergency and asked to borrow some money. I've never asked anyone to borrow money before. It was literally miserable, and none of them can help me. I wasn't really even expecting it since it's so close to the holidays. My ex worked hard to cut off all of my friendships, so I have no one else in my life to ask for help. I had just about $300 from when I'd first started saving for Christmas, so now I'm running around like a maniac trying to get this list done with that, and I guess I'll be praying for a miracle in the next week. All of the physical and mental pain that my ex put me through feels like something else entirely than this. I can't believe this is happening. My daughter has been through so much and she doesn't deserve this. Nothing for Christmas, but I don't have time to figure anything else out. It feels surreal. I'm trying to get all this done before they leave, but I saw people asking for updates. Thank you everyone for your responses. I'll have more time to write back when I get this completed and start figuring out how to still have a Christmas. Update 2. Is there anything that I can do here? Is there a way to legally force someone to pay you back even if they say they can't? I'm just spiraling here. I've done everything I could for my daughter. I had the money and just handed it to someone else. I essentially gave away her Christmas. Is there anything I can do? So, story time. Around the end of 2017, my boss's wife went through a midlife crisis and decided to have an affair and move out of their house. Divorce proceedings initiated shortly after. In the following March, There was an incident between the two of them that necessitated court intervention and for them to meet some requirements as a result. One of those requirements was her being required to walk around the house and make a list of all the items that were hers. Cue pettiness on her part. Boss's lawyer stated that in my 20 years of law practice, I have never seen a list this petty. Half of the dish towels, half of the paper plate holders, half of the pots, the curtains in the lounge, etc. You get the idea. She made sure she got half of everything. However, my boss did not allow her to come into the house herself to unpack, as she had spent the previous 5 months stealing out of the house at every opportunity. And he didn't trust her to pack only her belongings. So he made me do it. Small company, nothing else really for me to be doing. So I dutifully started collating her belongings. This is where the pettiness comes in. She requested one saucepan. I shook both and one had a loose handle. She got that one. She asked for the curtains in the lounge. She didn't ask for the curtain hooks. So I took all of those out. Half of the dish towels. She got all the grotty mismatched ones, not the nice red set. Half of the containers in the storage room. Never specified she wanted the contents, so she got empty containers. I did this for the entire list, making sure I was as petty as possible when packing up the house. The result. Part 1. Once she took all her stuff, she sent a very long letter via her lawyer stating that what she received was not what was listed in her belongings. We painstakingly went through the entire list, explaining that she received exactly what was written on her list, and we couldn't possibly be at fault since she wasn't specific enough. Part 2. Their divorce was finalized at the end of 2019. Occasionally, we will still get the stray email saying we need to return items to her that weren't provided back in 2018. It makes my petty heart burn bright knowing that she tried to be a witch about taking things, and I turned it back on her and ruined it by being extra petty. Yet, I did not behave like this in a vacuum. I did not screw over a kindly woman that I didn't know. No, I'm not dating or married to my boss. I can't believe I have to say this, but not every woman in a divorce is the good party. And women can be evil, narcissistic people just like men. Divorce brings out the worst in people. I'm my boss's personal assistant, and it's my job to read his emails.